Hi everyone, my name is Andrey, and I just wanted to make this testimonial for IronWill and for working with Ravi in general. So, like I said, my name is Andrey. I'm a consultant in the chemicals industry, and I run a business that basically helps set up online dating profiles for men, guides them through the app process, changes up their style, basically helps them succeed in today's environment on the dating apps. So I guess in my past, I haven't really been disciplined or organized really for a long time. I'm not sure when it started. Probably at some point in my childhood, but I definitely remember that by the time I was 16 or 17, I was already procrastinating pretty heavily and getting away with it just because I was a good test taker. I mean, I wouldn't mind, staying up late, finishing something last minute, working hard in bursts so I could kind of cover it. It definitely wasn't ideal, but I made it work. I definitely remember one point. I was about 17 and I was just, I don't know, it was 2 a.m. I was writing an essay from scratch due the next day. And my grandma, who was visiting, she came in and she was just like shook her head. And it was just like, like now that's what I do too. Like I procrastinate now, I'm like 68, 70 years old. I don't want to do the work that I'm doing, but I was never like this when I was young, and it's really bad that you're like this now. And yeah, she was in fact right. It wasn't great. And then I guess kind of going forward, I kept largely to the same habits. I would definitely work hard in bursts. I had no problem working hard. Um, I, you know, I had no problem with my strategic thinking or positioning really, but over the long term, and any time I had to do something consistent for a long time, or something I didn't want to do for more than a few days, I would always mess it up, and I would always stop and weasel my way out of it and just essentially, self-sabotage in a way because some of those really were tasks that I needed to get done. Um, so I've really, I've been looking to fix this for a while, and for the past few years, I would say I have, some really successful, like high-level entrepreneur friends, some doctor friends, some other professionals that require a high level of performance and discipline and consistency. And they've really been on my case that I need to stop messing around. I need to make a to-do list every day. I need to actually schedule my time instead of just like reading by the pool all day and then doing something last minute in a burst. Um, and they've really been on my case, and it helped. It helped for a few days. I would get a notebook, I would set up the dates, I would make my to-do list, I would, you know, cross one thing off at a time like I was supposed to. And this would last, I think, 1 day to 2 days, at most a week. But I don't think I actually ever made it to a full week. And then I'd slowly slip and, one by one, the good habits there wasn't enough time to establish the good habits. They'd fade away, and I'd really be back to the same, just basically the old me. Um, so yeah, so when I heard of IronWill and Ravi and I have mutual friends, and when he started this business, um, I was pretty eager to get on board because definitely what I was doing up to that point. I mean, eh, I wouldn't say that, I'm in a bad place in life, but definitely I'm at a very small percentage of my potential. And I feel like I've been, wasting a lot of time and have been tremendously unproductive with my average day. So whenever I heard of IronWill, I was pretty eager to test it out and to jump on board and, see if this can get me over that hurdle and to the next step. So I've been working with IronWill for I think, let me see, this is mid-December. So a bit over 2 months now. And I can say that the improvement that I have seen has been more definitely significantly more than I myself or my well-meaning friends and family have been able to achieve, in the past 10 years. So when we started out working together, I kind of had two big directions. I had a work presentation for my consulting job that I was speaking for, at this huge conference that I wasn't too familiar with the material. Basically, it required a lot of preparation ahead of time. And I was stuck a little bit in my business, just working with mostly word of mouth clients because I was essentially too lazy and not disciplined enough to set up a lead generation system, like a proper online lead generation system. So we kind of hit the ground running from the beginning. And so Ravi is both really good at just general health and wellness and, setting up the day with good, healthy, productive habits. And I'm pretty healthy myself, but there are certainly some things that he added to my daily regimen, and he certainly added some discipline to it. And then two, and the much more important part is we set up like consistent rhythm and cadence where I would, report to him daily and plan out my day, and he would, follow up throughout the day and made sure I executed on the tasks and would nudge me along and sometimes offer some encouragement and validation, sometimes just tell me to get it together and start with a task, and offer his help to kind of get me off that usual procrastination over planning type of ground, and kind of brute force it and nudge me to that next level, to that first step of actually accomplishing the task. So I did really well in that presentation. Um, I had a lot of people, not just coworkers, come up to me and talk about it. I definitely think that it made an impression, and a lot of that was because I was able to start preparing ahead of time, and instead of the last night. And really drill it into myself and practice a little bit and make sure that I was on top of it from a time management perspective. In terms of the lead generation system, it is not completely set up yet, but we have made very significant progress in the, I guess, only 3 weeks or so, 3.5 weeks that we have been working on it. Um, and that's again just from Ravi making sure that I set my daily tasks, and that I actually follow through with them, and his guidance, and really just making sure that I milk the most that I can out of every day. And as you can imagine, over the course of even a week or 2 weeks, or I mean, a month, that really adds up to a huge difference in performance. And I definitely feel like I'm getting a lot more done with my day working the same, or actually even a little bit less hours than I used to, even 3 months ago before I started this. So that change has been quite profound, and I mean, I will definitely keep using this service. There's no way I'm going to just stop and pray that I will somehow be able to maintain this on my own, because it's pretty clear that I can't. and I don't want to try. It's definitely been well worth it. So I definitely see myself working with IronWill for the long foreseeable future. So yeah, so I definitely recommend it to anyone who has a goal, or who feels a little bit stuck with what they're accomplishing, and who has kind of plateaued or hasn't really made any tangible improvements in a while towards that goal. Or if you just think that, your improvement is too slow and could really be supercharged with daily, consistent work and encouragement and supervision. So, yeah, and yeah, the last thing I kind of want to say is that if this is something that you've been considering for a few years now, like me, if this is something you know well about yourself, that you're really good at some things, but that discipline and consistency are not your strong points, then I would definitely hop on board because I mean, Robbie is I mean, I don't want to say he's a robot because he's not. He's a full emotional human being. But just the level of consistency and sheer will and discipline, uh, how he lives his own life on a daily basis, and how he can instill that in you is really something. And I mean, for me, has been life changing from a productivity perspective. And that's it, really. Thank you.